generations. And now, the power of two restores the one.
We got a bidet! Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel, Dyad in the Rough. Here today, we're going to be talking about the footage that was released that goes into detail about the new Tiana's Bayou adventure, and I'm going to be giving my opinion on the new ride. So, if you don't know, my wife and I, Sarah, we go to the Disney parks, and we absolutely love them. And we did enjoy Splash Mountain quite a bit too in the past, which is what Tiana's Bayou is replacing. If you're not aware, there used to be Splash Mountain, which followed the characters from the Song of the South film, which had Briar Rabbit and a whole bunch of others, of course. And it was just a ride that kind of showed the mischief that the rabbit dude was doing amongst all the other characters, and it had a lot of tongue-in-cheek, funny segments throughout. And at the end, there's the big splash, right? And so this is a reskin essentially. So the main mechanics of the ride are no different. So if you've gone on the ride, you know, all the different dips and turns that you remember before, they're all here still. It's just that we got a cosmetic update. And with that, you know, Splash Mountain was made years and years ago. So now we actually get to use some of the new technology that they've been using in their rides here as well. However, I do want to, I'll put in my thoughts here, just talking about that, is that with the new technology, a lot of the new things that we see on rides, like for example, on the Snow White Dwarves mine ride, you know, we see projected faces, or if you've seen some of the newer ones overseas, I think in Tokyo, maybe, in Tokyo Disney. I think they have been using a lot more animatronics that are, I would say, heavier duty or just more realistic. And we do get to see some of those on this ride. On the little preview that we got, we saw that there's animatronics of Tiana. I don't remember all the names, but like the older grandma lady, there's one of her. At the end, where we normally have the big boat, the boat is not there anymore. So that's kind of interesting. I thought that would be kind of a cool thing to have in there. But there's a lot of animatronics there as well. On the flip side of that, there is a lot of screens now too. So a lot of things lately, if you want to do some like animated immersion into these rides or like CGI type immersion, then you have to have screens. So like, you know, when you see like Rise of the Resistance, for example, you're gonna see screens that show, you know, a space battle outside, and like, you're not gonna do practical effects with that, with like little ships going around and stuff. It wouldn't be as cool or as immersive. But here we see like animated characters on the walls and stuff. Ones that I think probably could have been better if they were real things. There's a couple of different segments where there really aren't any animatronics around. Uh, there's some like these sections have color and very minor like forest type set pieces, but then we have screens on the walls where the characters are like talking to you or going through things. Which leads me to my next thing. So in my opinion, one of the types of things that happens on a lot of these Disney rides that I enjoy a lot is that we kind of get to experience a story, or we get to experience like the story from the movie. So like, you know, with The Little Mermaid, you know, we go through the whole thing with Ursula taking the voice, and at the end we see the little battle thing and all that good stuff. Here, it kind of seems like we're just taking a tour through the bayou. The adventure part of it seems a little um, stretched or a little, I would say not exactly what it is. I would not really call this an adventure. It's kind of like the Navi River ride in a way, because you're just kind of going around and seeing the area as opposed to going around and experiencing a story. So, what this ride reminds me a lot of is you're basically just kind of going through the bayou on a boat, seeing some of your favorite characters. Unless you're me, you're not going to see your favorite character. And what do I mean by that? I could be wrong, but I watched this video twice. I did not see Dr. Facilier anywhere on this ride. And I looked through the comments just to kind of see on YouTube to kind of see, if maybe I missed it. I didn't. So Dr. Facilier isn't part of this ride, as far as we know right now. It's been in the testing phase. It's not officially open, blah, 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 blah. But if we think back to the Splash Mountain, there was a segment of that ride that was kind of creepy. There was like these couple of crow characters, and they're like looking down at you, like very in a scary, creepy way. And so I thought maybe that would have been kind of the segment that we get, some Dr. Facilier. I think Dr. Facilier is an awesome character. In the movie, he has a lot of, color sequences happening, like with the pinks and the purples and stuff when he's doing all his magic and whatnot. And that could have been a really cool set piece and seeing, especially because the crow section is kind of when you're going up a mountain, and so you're just taking your sweet time going up the mountain. And so I kind of thought that would be a cool place. It's kind of like, Dr. Facilier is scary. And so you're in this ride, you have to experience what he's, doing. And so like there's no way to turn back, kind of a thing. And so you have to go through whatever he's, whatever his mischief is up to. And so I think that was kind of a missed opportunity. I feel like this ride is essentially supposed to be like happy-go-lucky, and there isn't any scary or um, creepiness to it, so to speak. So maybe that's what they're going for. They just want it to be happy all around. I mean, I noticed on some of their previous rides, like the Snow White Scary Adventures type ride, I mean, that's completely gone from Disney World. And if I remember correctly, at Disneyland, they just kind of brightened up the things. Like they're trying to make their rides less scary and uh, more inviting to younger audiences. And so I think that was kind of a misstep here. I really think Dr. Facilier deserved a spot on the ride somewhere, if not like even just like subtle things throughout. But again, this is basically you going through a little riverboat ride through the bayou, and Tiana is there talking to you along the way, and of course the other characters that we know and love as well. So if that's kind of what you're going for and what you're hoping for out of the ride, you're gonna get it. If you're hoping to see, some interesting things with Dr. Facilier, interacting with these characters, or maybe reliving the movie, you're not really gonna get that here. This is not called The Princess and the Frog Adventure. This is Tiana's Bayou. So it's all about Tiana and what's going on in the bayou. So I I get it and I don't. I think they could have done a little bit better here, especially with how many screens we saw. At the very end, when I was mentioning, before when it was um, Splash Mountain, they had the big boat and they're all singing the Zippity Doodah song. That part has been completely stripped out, and they just put a building there that, is stationary. And then there's some animatronics, and then there's some screen characters. And so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. That was kind of like the final send off for everybody, where things are awesome and amazing. And it was so cool to see how many animatronics were out there during Splash Mountain. And at least from what I'm getting from the video, it looks like there's a lot less. I totally get it that nowadays the animatronics are probably more expensive and, tougher to deal with just because, they are so much better. There's a lot more going on. But at the same time, I also think that if you're going to take something like Splash Mountain where people love what it was and you're going to replace it, it better be better. Like it's got to be the next step up. So I'm not quite sure if they've done that. Of course, I haven't ridden the ride yet. These are just my thoughts based on the video that was released. We do plan on going on this ride later this year, and maybe we'll have an update video on all of that. But as of right now, I'm not quite sure it was quite the right step, but only time will tell, and we'll hear from the audiences as they're able to experience it more and more when it comes out. Those are my thoughts on the Tiana's Bayou Adventure ride. Like I said, there was a video that came out that showed the entire thing, and honestly, it looks like a fun riverboat ride, but I also don't think it's gonna be like a fully awesome thing. Like I'm really salty about Dr. Facilier not being there, and I hope maybe they hear a little couple of audience reactions and they maybe change a screen thing to be Dr. Facilier. That way he's in there for something. But yeah, if you enjoy this type of video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Drop us a like if you like the video and drop us a comment letting us know your thoughts on the video that came out. And are you looking forward to the ride? And then, as always, everybody, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.